Pacific in cursive and script, if you will, across the chest. As Alowo and Crawford will jump at center circle, and the opening tip. Loa jumped a little bit early, but Crawford punched it at a second time, and it goes out of bounds off Lewis and Clark. So Pacific opens up with the basketball, and they'll go left to right as you listen with us, opposite direction as you watch on our PioStream video broadcast. Lewis and Clark in man-to-man defense. Pacific starts off to the right. They'll play an exchange-type offense out on the perimeter, bounce it down to Alowo. Crawford late trying to block the shot. A quick 2-0 lead for the visitors. Andrew Vickers, Bricker, and Hudson. Those are the three I've watched for the scoring from Lewis and Clark. I'd like to see get Crawford involved, try to get some fouls early on Alowo as Owens pulls the trigger on a long right-wing three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound pulled down, and Collins brings it in the front court. Owens had his worst shooting night in some memory against Willamette on Friday. Alowo sets up inside and hits back-to-back buckets on a little 7-foot jump shot. Lewis and Clark trails 4-0 in the early go. Pioneers left side of half court. And they'll work against a 2-3 zone. Bricker at the high post, dribbles down the lane, throws it back out. Now back into Bricker. Nice head fake, got around one, ran into Alowo, missed it off to the left. Crawford fights for the rebound, and off the knee of Collins, it goes out of bounds. Pioneers possess underneath. Coach Foreman in a black polo, Lewis and Clark branded, black slacks, shouting from across the court. Pioneers shifted benches after they started the season on the opposite end where Pacific sits tonight. Vickers, three off the inbound play, miss it. Front of the rim rebound by Alowo. Pioneers trail 4-0, 18:48 to go. The early going, moving the basketball up the floor. It's knocked away by Lewis and Clark. Baseline inbound for Pacific. Pioneers starting 0 for 3. Boxers with Alowo making both of his attempts have a 4-0 lead. Hudson's been an immediate impact player, as is Dalen Floyd, the freshman. And I think this is the first night Nick Lombardi's not started a game. Pioneers freshman out of California. Inside. Nice move by Evans. That's a 6-0 lead. 3 for 3 so far. Pacific from the field. Bricker fires left wing to Hudson, goes down to the corner into Crawford. In a sea of defenders, kicks it back out to Bricker. Dribbles away from the baseline, kick out to Vickers. Vickers works in out to Owens, catch and shoot, long three again off the front of the rim. Owens is 0 for 2 to start. Rebound to Alowo, outlets near side. Hawley in the front court. Back to Alowo, just behind the left elbow, his jump shot flat. First miss by Pacific, out of bounds, last touch by the Boxers. 17:51 to go in the first. Inbounding with a 6-0 lead, Pacific left of its hoop with Hawley, Bend, Oregon sophomore. Again, 1.7 points per game, but off a 25-point outing against Linfield. Throws into Alowo, right block, banging against Crawford, draws a foul. First foul charge to the Pioneers. That's Crawford's first with 17:43 to go. And I mentioned free throws is where both teams have shined. Alowo heads to the free throw line. And his first one is good. Yeah, that's why I thought I had Hawley's stats wrong. 15.3 points per game. So that makes way more sense than his average. Alowo makes the first, misses the second. A 61% free throw shooter. Vickers in the front court. Steers the offense right. Pioneers trailing 7-0. Lewis and Clark's 0 for 4 to start. Vickers fouled as he pulls the trigger on a 3. Fouled by Alowo. And that's a nice break for the Pioneers because they get one on the big man out on the perimeter. Vickers goes to the free throw line. Yeah, Northwest Conference Freshman of the Year, Vickers last year. He makes the first free throw. That gives Lewis and Clark its first points of the game. The 17:29 mark. Yeah, Alowo just jumped out at him. Maybe a little bit of a crash course by Vickers to the floor, gets the call. And this is after Lewis and Clark, I think, went about 5 minutes without a field goal against Willamette on Friday night. So the Pioneers have had slow starts. All three good by Vickers. Makes it 7-3, Lewis and Clark. Trailing by 4. Pacific has the lead, now faces full court pressure after the make. Vickers an 80% free throw shooter. Bounce pass to the baseline, too far out in front of Aloho, and the Boxers churn it over for the first time in the game. Pacific is really strong to start the second half. They've had far more success scoring, well, far more, but quite a bit more. As a three on the way from Hudson is no good. Relatively better, I should say, to start the second half. But right now, opened up to a 7-0 lead. Underneath, nice reverse lay-in. Jay Merriweather underneath. The 9-3 lead. Right side, Owens back to Vickers up on top. Crawford's the high post, can't find entry point there. Owens hesitates, he has the green light. You can tell Owens is frustrated with his start. Now on this near side, catch and shoot three. This one rattles off the rim, closest he's been. He's 0 for 3 though. Coach Foreman shouting, just shoot it. He knows Kyle's capable of hitting. Here's a catch and shoot three on the other end. That's Collins, and he has the three-pointer. Makes it a 9-point lead for Pacific, their largest of the game. Bricker over to Owens, drives baseline, back over to Bricker. One step in over Aloho, and his jumper's good. Bricker's got a smooth stroke. He was one of the best, if not the best, field goal percentage player ever at Union High School in Vancouver. He's showing it in college too. This is Collins' three from the near corner, off the mark. Hudson had it batted to him, tried to go behind the back, lost the handle. So the Pioneers give a second chance for Pacific, which is 5 of 6 shooting so far. Collins' three, his first points of the game. Hawley over to the right side. Merriweather works against Bricker, draws a foul, the shot goes in, and Bricker creates a 3-point play. No, did not count. To the free throw line goes Merriweather. The basket did count. I was just late on seeing what the score was. So they had already put it up by the time I noticed it. So he makes the free throw. Now a 15-5 lead, largest of the game. Pioneers have Vickers, Bricker, and for the first time, Nick Lombardi and Dalen Floyd, both freshmen, to go with Hudson. Lombardi drives through, kicks over to Hudson. Back out Vickers. He'll take the long three. It's too strong. Rebound weak side by Collins. Works through the middle. Merriweather's over there. Hawley as well. Don't think any changes at the timeout for Pacific. Bounce pass Evans, right block to Aloho. Works across, back over around Floyd and missed the right-handed hook shot on the double move. No good. Aloho starts the game 2 of 4. 15 minutes even to go in the first half. Pioneers shooting 14% through the game's first 4.5 minutes. Pacific was 6 of 8. Now 6 of 9. Lombardi, far corner, works away from the baseline. Had his shot tipped by Collins. It's no good. Hawley into front court. Pacific in red. Left to right, all the way to the rim, and a blocking foul. As underneath, Evans absorbed, rather, Hudson absorbed quite a fly-in from Evans. That's the first foul on Hudson's second team foul. Sends Evans to the free throw line. Only thing I can think of is late with his feet or he's in the restricted area. As Evans took off basically a step in from the arc. Misses the first free throw though, and so Pacific's 2 of 4 early from the line. Crawford back in replacing Bricker. So far 3 points from Vickers and 2 from Bricker. Free throw's good. Makes it a 16-5 lead, though. That's the bigger concern for Lewis and Clark. They're down 11. 14:38 to go. Hudson to Floyd, right side Vickers. Vickers so far 0 for 2 from the field. He got fouled shooting a 3. Pioneers still just 1 of 9. Hudson able to get a foul from Collins, and that's the second time that Pacific's fouled on a 3-pointer. I'm sure Coach Gibson, you know Lewis and Clark likes to shoot the 3, so you're going to be out by the arc, but it's another thing to defend it, and it's one whole other thing to foul and lunge at defenders. So Hudson goes to the free throw line. And his first effort is good. Hudson this year at the stripe has been good 2 of every 3. Quick shooter, and he hits the second of 3. Makes it 16-7. Doesn't hesitate. Pioneers, it's one bright spot so far. They're 6 of 6 from the line. Only field goals from Bricker on that jump shot. He's on the bench right now. Pioneers working a 2-3 look. Low is open down low. Crawford was a little bit too far out. Skip pass over to the near side. Driving baseline. Collins one arms it to the left. Batted away from Merriweather back out on top. Hawley drives through. Has an open look on the runner from the free throw line. No good. Weak side offensive board. Evans goes back up. The Pioneers give up a second chance, now trailing 18-8. Floyd at the top. Here's a 3 from Hudson. Launches out the back of the rim. No good. Long rebound, Collins. Quickly into front court. Evans to the middle. Throws far side. Merriweather. Nice crossover. Works right. Over the top. Little baby hook is good. 12-point lead for Pacific. Its largest with 13:30 to go. They're up 20-8. Lombardi over to the near side. Here's a drive. Hudson had it blocked by Aloho and out of bounds. They're going to call the foul on Crawford. They're giving him a technical foul. Oh, no, excuse me. They whistled it on Pacific, number 15. So Collins gets a technical foul. Hudson will shoot it. It's the second personal foul charged to the Boxers. Third team foul. The free throw is good by Hudson. He makes them both. Officials are Tom Spitznagel, Davis Torgeson, and Jesse Liebman. So Pioneers get the ball after the free throws. And it looks like they just continue the possession. So no shot clock reset. Lob to Crawford at the top. Hand off to Lombardi. He launches a 3. The freshman off to the right. Skying rebound Floyd, and he is fouled. Great effort from Dalen Floyd to come in flying for the rebound. Found a gap. The foul's charged to Evans. And it's the 4th team foul on Pacific. First charged to the senior Chris Evans out of Monterey Peninsula College, the transfer from Seaside, California. Floyd to the free throw line. He misses the first free throw of the game for the Pioneers. He's a 73% shooter. And I think he's been one of the most efficient players for the Pios this season. About 15 or 16 minutes per game, and he's been impactful when he's been on the floor. Second free throw no good, 20-10. Score remains after the technical free throws made by Hudson. Floyd misses 2. Pacific has the ball. First time Brevin Brown is in the game. He throws far side to Evans and back up to Hawley. Also for the first time, Nick Edens is in the game. Inside pass taken by Crawford, outlet to Vickers. Up the floor to Lombardi. Crosses over between the legs, left wing. Goes right. Hudson for 3. And high off the rim, and it sticks between the shot clock and the backboard. Atop, they're going to need someone tall to slap the backboard. Coach Foreman say, I don't think we have anyone. You got to see where that ball is. Look at that. It's just wedged up there. I think that counts. Basketball went through. Give him some points. 20-10, 12:33 to go in the first. Lewis and Clark misses that shot, and it goes possession Pacific. Nice teamwork. Andrew Wurst, the all-conference defensive end for the Pioneers football team. finding this spare ball. Good crowd. There's probably 30 students breaking away from what will soon be reading days and all the finals of the first semester. Vickers defending Brown, who gets it back on the kick out, and the three is good. So the Boxers up 13 points. Largest lead of the game, 23-10. Can Lewis and Clark answer? Crawford at the high post. Can't find it inside. Good rotation of the zone. They also have Jericho Santos in, the senior, at the top of that zone. Pacific does. Vickers, around a rotating defender, misses a 15-foot jump shot. Rebound tipped out. It goes out of bounds. Last touched by Lewis and Clark. 11:48 to go in the opening half. Lewis and Clark has been living at the free throw line. Either their 10-point.
1 of 14 from the field. They've only taken 5 shots inside the 3-point line, and they've only made 1 of them. Hudson leads all Pioneers with 5, all of those points from the free throw line, as Jericho Santos with the runner up and good. 25-10 Boxers lead it. Hudson with the ball. It's Hudson, Lombardi, Vickers, Floyd, Stewart on the floor for the Pioneers, going from my right to left, opposite as you watch on the Pio stream. Santos, Brown, Holly, Merriweather, and Olowo on the floor for the Boxers. Vickers drove inside the lane, but a foul is going to be called on Santos on the drive. That'll be his first of the game. 5th team foul of the half, as Hudson inbounds it to Vickers on the near side corner. He drives into the middle lane, passes it back out to Lombardi and over to Floyd in the corner. Back out to Hudson. Man-to-man defense by the Boxers as Hudson drives inside. Floyd, long, they are going to call that a three-pointer. I thought it was on the line, but the first three-pointer made by Floyd. 25-13, they are now 1 for 10 from beyond the arc. Hopefully they'll start heating up now. Shot by Santos on the far side corner, and that one an answer by Santos. That's point number 5 for him. Vickers with the ball for the Pioneers, gets it over to Floyd on the near side, and Hudson in the corner. Hudson doesn't pass it down to Floyd, who was cutting down low. Still has his dribble, passes it around, finally over to Lombardi at the top key, drives in the middle. Vickers wide open 4-3 from the top of the key, and that one's good. Back-to-back three-pointers for the Pioneers. Things are starting to heat up as it's 28-16. Boxers lead it by 12 now. Shot by Brown for the answer, and it's back-to-back three-pointers from both teams, as the Pioneers are going to call a timeout. And here in the Pamplin Sports Center, finally hitting their first 2 three-pointers, but both of those answered by the Boxers as Lombardi drives it into the middle, kicks it back out to Hudson. Floyd now with it, and gets it over to Vickers on the near side wing. Goes around a screen set by Stewart. It goes into the middle, and Floyd goes up for the shot, but blocked by number 32, Nate Olowo, who was just, seems like he was a foot above Floyd on that opportunity, and his whole arm was encompassing that basketball. Owens back in the game for the Pioneers, looking for where to throw it in from the baseline. Finally gets it out to Hudson, 12 to shoot. He drives it in the middle lane, and up and in for the layup. Only their second made field goal from inside the arc. Team is now shooting 4 of 18 from the field. Ball's controlled by Santos. Gets it over to Tobin, making his first appearance for the Boxers. Pass around the perimeter, finally goes inside to Olowo. 15-footer from the far side baseline, no good. Floyd with the rebound. Owens has it, driving it up near side. Pulls up for a 3. Off the front iron, no good. Owens has gone cold tonight, trying to figure out a way to get his team back into it. Brown with the ball controlled and passed around over to Santos now. Down low to Olowo on the baseline. Pass it back out to the outside. Santos driving into the lane, kicks it back out over to Tobin, who drives into the middle. Finally, the ball ends in Merriweather's hands, who turns around with the shot, no good. Floyd now with it for the Pioneers. Hudson calling for it in the corner. Vickers now controlling it from the top of the key. Pacific running to man-to-man defense, goes around the screen set by Stewart on the far side wing. Figuring out where to go. Floyd now with it, drives into the middle lane, picks up his dribbles, shoots the ball, and off the backboard, no good. Ball's loose and controlled by Vickers. Foul's going to be called, though. It looks like that one's going to be called on Merriweather. It is on Merriweather as Vickers was getting the long rebound. That'll be Merriweather's first foul of the game. So far, Jay Merriweather is leading all boxers with 7 points on 3 of 4 shooting. The senior out of Buena Park, California. 18 to shoot on the clock. Ball ends up in Hudson's hands on the far side. Fakes the 3, but decides not to take it. Stewart has it at the block, kicks it back out to Vickers. Vickers thinks about it. He finally does take the 3-pointer. Extend to the left. Off the rebound, off the front iron, and Hudson with the long rebound for the Pioneers. 31-18. Boxers lead it with 8.5 left to play. Owens with it. He's gone cold tonight, but he needs to heat up for the Pioneers to get back in this. Hudson from the top of the key drives into the lane off the backboard, and that one's up and in. The Pioneers now have 20, down by 11 with 8 left in the half. Jacob Tobin controlling the ball for the Pioneers on point guard duty. The senior out of Saugus, California. On the near side, passes it over to Santos. Drives down the baseline and passes into the middle, almost stolen. Controlled by Forrest Grove. Santos with a 3 from the far side corner. Off the front iron, no good. Rebound to Brown, and the putback is good. 33-20, 7:40 left in the half. Vickers tries to drive it in, but kicks it out to Floyd. Floyd drives into the middle lane, goes up, no fouls called, and the shot is short off the iron. Brown with it, guarded by Owens. Fakes a move, passes it over into the corner, where it's controlled by Tobin. Tobin goes down low to Olowo. Olowo with a great move around Stewart, but can't hit the shot. Floyd controls it, gets it out to Vickers. He's going to bring it across half court with 7:15 left to play in half number 1. Pioneers down 33-20. Vickers drives into the lane, fakes a pass, goes up for the layup, and off, out and around, but misses the shot, gets the foul. Brevin Brown, that'll be his first foul of the game, and timeout's going to be called with Vickers at the line after that foul just a moment ago. On the floor for the Pioneers, it's going to be Panicaci, Owens, Vickers, Crawford, and Bricker, as the first shot is made by Andrew Vickers. Vickers, the sophomore out of Vancouver, Washington. 5 for 5, now 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Boxers get the rebound there, and it's Brown, Hawley, Collins, Lind, and Olowo on the floor for Pacific. Hawley drives into the middle lane, passes it out for a 15-foot shot taken by Jordan Lind, and that one is good. 35-21 with 6:45 left to play in the half. Bricker on the far side. Pacific in a man-to-man defense as Vickers drives into the lane. No shot on that one as Vickers drives into the lane, and a foul is going to be called. It's going to be Brown's second of the night. He leads all Pacific players with 8 right now on 3 for 3 shooting, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. As Vickers, once again, going to be shooting free throws, 4 for 5 so far on the night. 10 of the Pioneers' 22 points have all come from the free throw line. They're finally starting to hit some shots from the field, and they'll need to hit some more if they want to climb their way back into this game. Both shots good for Vickers. 35-23, 6.5 left in the half, as Hawley brings it up court, guarded rather closely by Panicaci on the far side. Gets it over into the free throw line, controlled by Lind, makes a move, passes out to Brown, and Brown's going to get called for the travel, drug his foot before he dribbled the ball. And now it's going to be Pioneers basketball with 6:19 left, down by 12. They have a chance to cut this thing to single digits with a 3-pointer. They're 2 of 13 from beyond the arc, hitting their first 2 3-pointers just a few moments ago. Bricker tries to drive inside, kicks out to Panicaci for 3 from the far side corner, and that one's good. 9-point lead, what once was 15 is now 9. Boxers lead 35-26 with 6 minutes left to go. Hawley going around the screen set by Olowo, kicks it out over to Lind, who drives inside. The spin move, passes to Olowo with an easy layup opportunity and makes it. 37-26, 5:45 left. Vickers on the far side kicks it over to Bricker on the near side. Goes around the screen set by Crawford, kicks it back out to Vickers, looking inside. Owens, guarded by Olowo, passes it back out. He's thinking a little bit too much about it. He's been one of the best shooters for the Pioneers, but just having an off night. Bricker ends up with it with a couple of large steps and makes the layup, 37-28. Again, a 9-point lead, trying to claw their way back into this before the end of the half. 5:15 left to play in half number 1. Davis Hawley running the point guard, and it's going to get fouled by Panicaci near the half-court line, and that will be 1-1, I believe. No, excuse me, that's only the 4th team foul for the Pioneers. So there's still a few away. Pioneers have 4 fouls, Boxers have 8. So the Pioneers are shooting free throws the rest of the way, as Evans inbounds it for Pacific out to Collins with 17 to shoot. Man-to-man defense by the Pioneers as Collins tries to drive inside, gets it over to Evans, who kicks it back out and almost out of bounds, but saved by Hawley. The ball is controlled by Merriweather, who goes up for the layup on the runner, and that one is good. 39-28, 4:50 left in the half. Rickers kicks it out to Bricker, thinks about it, but drives inside into the middle, goes up for the shot, and gets just enough of the glass for it to go in, making it 39-30. Need some defense now by the Pioneers to try to claw their way back in. 4:30 left to play. Hawley guarded by Panicaci at the top of the key, trying to drive inside, and Panicaci once again going to get called for a foul, number 2. Playing very tight defense, but the officials are calling that, so they'll want to make the adjustment as Hudson comes in for Panicaci. 4:29 left to play in the first half. Pioneers once down by 15, now down by 9. This has kind of been a trend as the inbound pass thrown to Alowo, missed, and put back by Evans. That one is good. 41-30. Vickers, top of the key over to Bricker. Passes it back out to Vickers, over to Hudson, near side corner for 3, and around and out, but Bricker gets the offensive rebound, trying to save it, and jump ball is called, and possession arrow goes to the Pioneers. 4:12 left in the half as the Pioneers get ready to inbound it from their own baseline. They'll have 29 seconds on the shot clock as Owens inbounds it. Hudson, Owens, Vickers, Crawford, and Bricker on the floor for the Pioneers. Crawford receives it, gets it over to Hudson, takes it to the top of the key, guarded by Collins. Kickball is called on that one, and so the Pioneers are going to retain possession, down by 11 with 4:06 to play, as Jericho Santos returns, the senior from West Covina, California. Bricker receives the inbound pass, getting the instructions from Coach Foreman. And offensive foul called on Crawford, an illegal screen it looked like, and we're going to go ahead and go to a timeout with 3:58 left to play in the half. Boxers lead it by 11, and it'll be Boxer ball when we come back for Lewis and Clark Athletics. This
just being demolished in shooting percentage, 65% for the Boxers from the field, just under 30% for Lewis and Clark. Pioneers opened up defensively after the timeout. 3 on the way from Merriweather off the mark. Weak side offensive rebound, Evans. Second chance for Pacific. Gray numbers on red, Pioneers orange on white. Bricker defending in the post against Edens. From the low to the high. Nice crossover by Evans. The step back doesn't go. Owens the rebound. Outlets to Vickers. Here come the Pios right to left. Floyd, nice space, separation to the rim, flying through with a left-handed outstretched arm. And Floyd has 5. 41-32, 9-point deficit for Lewis and Clark, which has trailed the entire game. Pacific opened up first 2.5 minutes with a 7-0 lead, eventually built it to as many as 15. Halfway through the shot clock, bounce pass inside Merriweather. Such efficient cutting by Pacific. They're finding the right spots on the floor. That was another example because Vickers is defending it. He just found the right couple of steps to take to find enough separation. Pioneers are 3 of 15 from three-point range. Owens 0 for 4. Okay, Owens has the green light. Here he is. Catch it. Can't shoot it over the top. 9 to shoot. Vickers, high post pass to Bricker. Works down low. Back out. Vickers, open look for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Hudson out-duels Merriweather and gets the offensive board. Merriweather at 6'3", Hudson at 5'9". Vickers, nice backdoor cut to Bricker. He's fouled down low. The Pioneers Did a lot of great things on the possession, just couldn't score it yet. 2:14 to go. Fouls charged to Hawley, that's his first, and team foul number 9 on the Boxers. So 2 free throws for Bricker. First trip to the line in this game. Bricker's 70% on the year, he makes it. Back in is Alowo, 7 points, 3 of 7 shooting, 4 rebounds. He replaces Edens. He'll rebound on the bottom right position. Bricker. This is the second one. Rebound pulled down Alowo. Left to right goes Pacific. 19-16 is the edge in rebounding for the Boxers. Alowo high post, works it on Bricker. Nice defensive step, he traveled. And the Pioneers forced the turnover. Bricker did a great job moving to his side, cut off the opening. 43-33, Pioneers still down double figures. And they really haven't broken too much back into the game in terms of Pacific having a 15-point lead. It wasn't like the Boxers were up 20. Pacific still plays the 2-3 zone. Hawley out on the edge with Owens. Vickers from the top. Starts to go in, finds his path, kicks over to Floyd for 3, and missed it long. Or rather, short bounces long over the top, rebound to Hawley. In transition. Evans on the left wing, bounce pass low, Merriweather able to corral it in, and he's fouled on the backside. Looked like Owens tried to catch up, picks up his first. And that's the 7th team foul on the Pios, so a 1-and-1 free throw for Merriweather. First foul on Owens. Merriweather to the line. He's made his only attempt in the game so far. Pacific 3 of 5 from the line. Coach Foreman trying to instill some confidence in his junior guard, Kyle Owens. Talked about the struggle on Friday. Tonight hasn't gotten much better yet. He's 0 for 4 after going 1 for 11 against Willamette. Second free throw, no good. Nice rebound by Floyd, way to keep his position. 1:23 to go in the first, 44-33. Lewis Clark's winners earlier, 75-53. Vickers, a clear out, takes it to the rim, beat Alowo, and he gets a layup, 44-35. Lewis and Clark trailing by 9. Vickers has 11. Evans on the far side, looks inside, can't find much down. Merriweather and Alowo responsible for working down low. Owens out on the shooter, Hawley, high post pass. One dribble, Merriweather over Floyd, buried it through. Pioneers have 44 seconds left in the first.
3 high, real quick, 2 for 1, 3 high right now.
Vickers gets the duel at the top of that zone, kick out, Owens for 3. Scoots out, he's 0 for 5, that one should have fallen. Up the floor, all the way, coast to coast. Santos can't make the layup. Tippin doesn't go for Merriweather. Rebound to Hudson. Pioneers have the last chance. 20 seconds. Coach Foreman asking for one shot from Hudson, who brings it in their front court. Works over to the right side. Vickers on the left wing. Owens in the far corner. Floyd in the near side. Hudson, step back 3 with 4 seconds. It also swoops out. Full court heave. Doesn't go. And the Pioneers trail at the end of the first half, despite having 19. As Pioneers open up on defense, they go in the white uniforms with the orange numbers. Second half underway. Pacific has Davis Hawley, R.J. Collins, Jay Merriweather, Chris Evans, and Nate Alowo in the red with gray numbers and a white Pacific inscript across the chest. Ball poked free on the first trip down for Pacific. Boxers still have it, leading 46-35. Mac Hudson, Zeke Crawford, Nico Bricker, Andrew Vickers, and Kyle Owens for the Pioneers. There's a 3 from Evans, right side, swish through. It's not like the Pioneers might have not been in their correct defensive alignment on that particular shot. 5 of 8 Pacific from 3-point range. Lewis Clark's first offensive trip, moving left to right as you listen, right to left You'll watch our Pio stream video. Nice fire into Crawford. Head fake got Aloho to jump. He draws an early foul on the 6'6 senior. That's his second, team foul number 1 of the second half. And to the free throw line goes Zeke Crawford. Crawford this season has hit all of his free throws. He hasn't been to the line much. He's hit 1. And he makes his first, now has his first points of the game. Crawford hasn't even attempted a field goal attempt before that last try. He was fouled, so it won't count. Makes both free throws, 19-18 to go in the second. It's 49-37. Hudson challenging Hawley up the floor. Owens defending across. Nice bounce pass Collins. Hawley puts a runner up. And on the rebound, it's touched by Crawford or Bricker and goes out of bounds. So the Pioneers don't get possession. Fresh shot clock for Pacific underneath. Nice feed to the high post. Leaner, Merriweather, excuse me, can't make it. Rebound Vickers up the floor. Far side, Owens missed the shot. It was blocked. Collins jumped out at him and got a piece of it. Pacific has fouled twice on three-pointers in this game. Aloha from the free throw line, bank shot, swoops out, doesn't go. Circled the rim. Vickers, tongue out as he runs up the floor. Easy lay-in. No one cuts off Vickers, and he just takes it down the right side. He has 13. Pioneers still trailing by double figures, though, down 49-39. Merriweather from the top, left side Evans. Aloha trying to get position on the left block against Crawford. Now left side, and an offensive foul. Coach Foreman yelling, that's a push-off, and that's a third now on Collins. Second team foul in the second half. 2 minutes old, 49-39. Vickers on the right wing. No real post presence right now. Now Bricker gets a baseline screen from Owens. Hudson from the top, thought about shooting, drives in on Evans, kicks to the right. Open look for Bricker. He hit it. 49-41. The Pioneers going to get past the 9 or 8 point gap. Although it's been a while since Lewis and Clark's even been within 8. They were within 9 the late part of the first half. Evans, left side, bounce pass, left baseline, driving in. Merriweather, another reverse lay. Pacific likes that step. Merriweather has 18, 51-41. 17-10 to go in the second. Pioneers going toward their bench and the student section in the second half. Keep everything out of the perimeter against a 2-3 zone. Hawley and Collins on top. Aloho anchors the middle with Merriweather to his right, Evans to his left. Jump pass, far side. Hudson for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Pio's 3 of 21 and 0 for 2.5 from 3. Hudson out on Hawley. Pio's also in a 2-3 zone. Crawford's down low on theirs. An illegal screen, that's on Aloho, and that's his third. So some slight foul trouble for Nate Aloho. But tonight it's been Merriweather who's really been the dominant performer. Pacific this season getting 15.3 per game from Hawley, 14.7 from Merriweather, and 15.7 from Brown. There's a 3, Hudson far side, again off the front of the rim. Pioneers just short yet again. Dalen Floyd comes back in, battling for the rebound. He didn't get it, but he got it to Hudson. Vickers an open look, hit the 3. 51-44. And Floyd and Aloho have to be separated. They call a double foul? Their 6'8" senior, 220 pounds. He replaces Aloha. Don't think they actually called any fouls. I think they just had to make a note, perhaps a warning in the scorebook. Eden's high-low pass down low to Merriweather. wanted to try to do that reverse lay-in, and Floyd is called for a foul. Foul was on Floyd, his first. There's a hook shot, good by Edens. Referee signaled 22 on the foul, but there is no 22 for Lewis and Clark in the game. So foul's charged to Floyd. Pioneers down 53-44. Floyd in the far side corner, shoots over Edens, missed it. Vickers can't tip the rebound, controlled by Merriweather on the weak side. Up the floor, Hawley goes back. Merriweather head fake, got around Vickers, but he traveled trying to cut to the basket. So we step away with 15:30 to go. Lewis and Clark does have the basketball back, down 53-44. We're back in a moment from Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon. This is Pio Street.
3:44. Down by 9 here in the second half. Once down by 15 as the Pioneers have the ball going from my left to right. Opposite as you watch on the Pio stream. Ball controlled by Floyd, driving the baseline, goes up for the two, blocked a little bit, gets his own rebound and loses it. Controlled ultimately by the Boxers as the Pioneers are bringing a full court press here after that rebound. Hawley with the ball, gets it over to Evans. It's Edens, Hawley, Collins, Merriweather, and Evans on the floor for Pacific. They try to go down low, and Crawford, with the great defense, tips it out of bounds. It's going to be Boxers' ball. So earlier with that issue with Alowo and Floyd, it looks like technical fouls were issued to each player. And so now Alowo has 4 fouls on the night. So there was a double technical called on that play just a few moments ago. Hudson, Lombardi, Vickers, Floyd, and Crawford on the floor for the Pioneers as Brown receives the inbound pass from the baseline. Brown driving against Vickers with the spin move. Takes the shot, ends up kicking it out over to Evans, who takes a 10-foot runner, and that one's good. Boxers lead it again by 11. Lombardi trying to drive it into the middle, goes up for the layup, and that one is up and no good. And Crawford couldn't control the offensive rebound. Boxers have the ball. 55-44, Pacific leads it. Brown tries to drive inside, gets away with a push, and shoots from 10 feet out on the baseline, and that one is good. 57-44, 13-point lead, biggest lead of the half. 15 is the biggest of the night as the Boxers set up in their 3-2 zone defense. Vickers gets it to the free throw line, controlled by Crawford, makes a spin move, goes up for the hook shot, and that one is good. 57-46, 14 minutes left in regulation. Owens will be coming back in on the next whistle as Hawley tries to drive down the sideline, looking for a way to go, jumps over Floyd with the shot, and no good. Rebounds to the Pioneers as Vickers controls it. Gets it over to Hudson. Long three-pointer. Looks good, but a little bit short, and going to go out of bounds with 13:44 left to play in the second half. 57-46, Boxers lead it. Pioneers 4 of 25 from beyond the arc. 10 of 19 from inside three-point range. They just haven't been able to get that outside shot going here tonight. A few of those drop, we've got a different ball game altogether. Ball's controlled by Evans. Near the near side corner, passes it over to Merriweather, leading the Boxers with points, and kicks it out to Brown with a three-pointer, which is good. Making it 60-46, 14-point lead with 13:15 left to play in regulation. Down low to Crawford, kicks it out to Floyd. Guarded closely by Evans. Three-point off the front of the iron. Rebound's tipped, and Brown has it. 2-on-1, goes up for an easy layup, making it 62-46. Now the biggest lead of the night as Hudson brings it up the floor for Lewis and Clark. Crawford over to Floyd, cutting inside. Great move there by Floyd as Coach Foreman wants a 30-second timeout. We'll go ahead and take a break. 62-40. Technical fouls have been issued in this game. One to Alowo, one to Floyd, and I believe one to Tobin earlier in the first half. Hawley tries to drive it to the top of the key, kicks it over to Brown, back over to Hawley. 2-3 zone set up by the Pioneers as Evans has the ball on the near side. Long shot now by Hawley, no good, and Merriweather's there for the putback, making it 64-48. Boxers lead it. Bricker tries to go inside. It's going to be out of bounds off of his leg. As he holds his knee, looks like he's landed on somebody's foot from the way that he got back up. Jogging gingerly down the court there as he reached down for his knee, so you want to keep an eye out on that for the rest of the game. 12-13 left to play in regulation. Brown has it, kicks it over to Evans, shoots the three-pointer from the far side corner. No good. Vickers with the rebound there for the Pioneers as they're down by 16. Biggest lead of the night. Hudson, near side, guarded by the big man. Edens goes into the lane, and a big mismatch as far as speed goes as Hudson goes up and gets the layup. 64-50, 11:50 left to play. Merriweather with it at the top of the key. He has 20 on the night, 9 of 13 shooting for the Boxers. For Merriweather as he drives inside the lane against Stewart, up and over, and the 10-footer is good from inside the paint, 66-50. Pacific still running that 3-2 zone defense as Hudson has the ball on the near side wing, guarded by Brown, looking for a place to go. Gets it over to Brick at the top of the key, who's calling the play. Hudson now directing traffic. Gets it over to Vickers. 10 seconds left to shoot on the clock. Vickers drives it inside. Hudson for three from the corner. And around and out, no good. And the ball's loose, controlled by Merriweather. And the Boxers are going to run for it. Passes across court to Evans. Evans guarded by Hudson. Kicks that back out to Merriweather, who drives into the lane. Goes up against Stewart. No good. Rebound to Bricker. 10:50 left in regulation. Owens with it. Owens 0 for 6. Shoots it for three. And that one's good. 66-53, his first field goal of the game. That should give Owens some confidence. Let's see what happens here with him the rest of this night if he keeps that green light. Ball controlled by Merriweather, guarded by Owens. 2-3 zone for the Pioneers. Evans going down low to Edens, lays it up and in over Vickers. 68-53, little over 10 minutes left in the second half. Vickers gets it over to Stewart at the free throw line. Kicks it back out over to Owens for three. That one's good! Back-to-back three-pointers by Owens. Started off the game 0 for 6. He's now 2 for 8. Back-to-back three-pointers, 10 left. 12-point deficit by the Pioneers. We're halfway through the second half. Hudson guarding Hawley, who's trying to go around the screen set by Edens. Gets it over to Edens, and Evans ends up with it, driving into the middle of the lane. Looking for where to go. Finally pulls up and off the bank. That one's good. Timeout's going to be called by Coach Gibson of Pacific. And with 9:49, 14 of 18 from the free throw line. Key three-pointers and free throws have been what's keeping them in the game as Bricker brings the ball up against Merriweather and gets it over to Vickers on the near side, guarded by Evans. Man-to-man defense now by Pacific University as Hudson gets possession of the ball, goes around the screen set by Stewart. Tries to drive into the middle lane against Brown, goes up for the layup, and a block is going to be called. Merriweather couldn't believe it, but that's going to be his second foul of the night. It looked like he was inside the restricted zone as Hudson went up for the layup. Shot was no good, but he will get 2 free throws for that. He's 5 of 5 from the line. Hasn't shot a free throw since, I want to say, the early part of the first half. So it's been a while, but that first one is good without even any trouble. He's got 12 on the night, chance to make it 13. That one looks good, it is good. 7 of 7 from the line is Mac Hudson. 12-point deficit for the Pioneers with 9.5 left to play. 2-3 zone by the Pioneers now as Brown has it guarded against Hudson, who strips the ball, goes across half court to retrieve it. Brown looking for where to go, picks up his dribble, goes over to Edens, who's at the free throw line. Shot no good. Vickers with the rebound, pushing it up. 9 minutes left, just a little over 9 minutes. Gets it over to Hudson, wide open three from the far side, and that's around and out. Stewart, though, gets the ball tipped to him and goes up and in. It's now a 10-point ball game. Evans controlling it, guarded by Owens, picks up his dribble, gets it back over to Brown, top of the key, kicking it over to Santos. Cross court, over to Evans, thinks about the three, tries to drive inside, gets it back over to Merriweather, leading the team with points, and that one gets the shooter's roll, goes in, back to a 12-point lead with 8:38 left to play. Santos, Brown, Edens, Merriweather, and Evans on the floor for Pacific. Hudson, Owens, Vickers, Stewart, and Bricker on the floor for the Pioneers. Stewart takes a 15-footer from the far side, no good, rebound controlled by Edens. Brown bringing the ball up the court with 8.5 left to play. Gets it over to Santos. Drives in the middle of the lane. Goes over Bricker. Shot no good. Offensive rebound to Merriweather. Back out to Santos. Top of the key. Brown guarded by Hudson. Trying not to foul, but he's deep. He's not going to shoot that. Gets it back over to Evans, who goes down low to Edens. Merriweather from the free throw line drives inside, and a foul's going to be called on Bricker. That's going to be his second. That's going to be 2 shots for Merriweather, who has 24 points in the 9, 11 of 16 shooting, 2 for 3 from the free throw line here this evening. Chance to get 2 more with a 12-point Boxer lead. First one is up, around, and in, as Crawford and Floyd come back into the game for Bricker and Stewart. And it looks like Panikachi's back into the game as well, coming in for Vickers with 8:04 left to play. Merriweather has 25, Brown has 15, Evans has 12 for Pacific. Hudson with 13, Vickers with 16 for Lewis and Clark as that second free throw is up and in. 14-point lead. The biggest lead of the night is 16 for the Boxers with 8 minutes left to play. Floyd, far side, gets it over to Panikachi, near side, and Hudson now in the near side corner, looking to go down low. He finally does get it down to Crawford, who's guarded, and ball stripped. Evans with it, one-on-one, goes all the way, and lays it up and in over Panikachi. Tied for the biggest lead of the night at 16, 76-60, 7.5 left to play in regulation. Hudson tries to drive it on Brown, picks up his dribble, gets a man to jump, can't get the shot off, and Crawford loses it as well as Brown ends up with the ball. Driving in the middle, around the back, dribble, and Hudson, another hustle play, getting that ball stripped and stolen, gets it back over to Owens, near side corner, thought about the 3, but no. He finally does take the 3, and that one, around and out, no good. And foul's going to be called on Pacific. It looks like away from the ball, number 30, Jordan Lynn, with his first foul. As substitutions are going to come in for the Pioneers, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick break with 7:30. A delay of game warning coming out of the timeout. And we'll go ahead and toss it over to Ryan Goff for the call for the remainder of the game.
76-60, Lewis and Clark trails Pacific by 16. Owens takes off from the left wing, hard drive to the basket. And he's fouled as he flew in from the left side. Now one's charged to Pacific's Jericho Santos, his second of the game. Owens goes to the free throw line for 2, and that's the 7th foul on Pacific, who's playing without Nate Alowo, who has 4 personal fouls. But yet Pacific's been able to build a game-high 16-point lead again, and now 15 as Owens makes the first free throw. Out is Brown, back in is Hawley. Owens finally broke the seal on the basket after an 0 for 7 start, 0 for 6 start. Owens makes the next free throw, 76-62. Right to left in red goes Pacific. They have Davis Hawley at 15.3 points per game coming into today. Yet to score. He's 0 for 5 shooting. He drives left, kicks over to the right. Santos takes off left wing, couple of dribbles, jump shot, airballed, and Floyd has it. Leads the break. Pios and White, left to right. Panikachi over on the far side. And Vickers comes over to get the basketball. He takes off from the top, takes in on Evans, right hand, left side, draws a foul. And Evans picks up his second. With 6:35 to go, that's the 8th team foul on Pacific. Alowo averages 11 points per game. He's on the bench, as I mentioned, with his fouls. He's only at 7. And Merriweather has 26, well above his average of 15 per game. Vickers comes in, makes the first free throw at the line. Panikachi and Owens are out. Lombardi returns, as is Hudson. Lombardi 9 minutes, 0 for 3 shooting. Vickers' second free throw is good. He has 18. Full court pressure, Pios 1-2-2 zone. They had luck with this down at Willamette. Pacific, middle of the floor. Lind up for it, nice feed down low to Evans, cuts to the right. Merriweather makes the layup. 78-64, Pios down 14 with 6:17 to play in the second. Trying to avoid a 4th straight loss. Pacific's trying to improve to 8-0 to start the season. Their best since 1971-72. Vickers off the pass from Hudson. 3, miss. Floyd, easy rebound. Double team, kicks out Lombardi for three. Got it. 78-67. Pios worked it down to the top side of single digits, maybe 8 earlier in the half, but they have not been able to close further. Merriweather gets around, out to Lind. Pacific resets from the top. Holly challenges Vickers. Works him to the right block, throws high. Lind, catch and shoot from the free throw line is good. Lind has 4. Floyd has an open look. Doesn't take it, throws over to Vickers. Nice feed down to Crawford. Good position down low against Lind. And he has the easy layup. Crawford has 6. Pios will try to trap. And then stall to get the 10-second call, which they have. Jared Gibson kind of puffs out his cheeks, frustrated, visibly on the face. His team didn't get across the half-court stripe, and they commit the turnover, Pacific's 8th of the game. Evans and Santos come out. Brown is back in, as is Edens, with Holly, Evans, and Lind. Pios down 80-69. Need to get scores and stops with 5 minutes to play in regulation. Floyd, good first step on the baseline. Hudson fires left wing. Lombardi for 3, just short. Rebound tipped around and batted off of Lewis and Clark. They knocked it out of the hands of one of the Pacific players, and it touched the end line. So Pacific controls. Owens comes back in, or rather Bricker comes back in for Lombardi. 4:49 to go. Floyd at the top of the 1-2-2 look. Far side into front court. Lind works at the wing against Hudson, turns him around over to Evans. Pacific trying to go to 8-0. Lob to Lind. Left block against Hudson, turns away from the baseline to his right and nails the turnaround jumper. Lind with a couple of buckets the last few Pacific possessions. His team scores an average of 85 per game. They're at 82 right now against Lewis and Clark, which comes in at 71 per game. They're 2 shy of that. Owens from the corner missed the 3. And the rebound for the Boxers in the hands of Holly, sophomore into front court. 4 minutes to go. Pios do have 2 timeouts, but they need to get closer than double digits. Lind, that's a big step, turns to his right, missed it. Vicker has the rebound off the front of the rim. Far side to Floyd, dashes through, and this time an outstretched right hand that mirrored his left-handed layup in the first half. The Pios get to 71, down 11, 82-71. Evans answer coast to coast, and has the easy layup. Evans to 16. Brown has 15. Those are the 2 leading scorers on the floor right now for Pacific. Alowo and Floyd were issued technical fouls earlier in the half. Hudson around the defender. Edens high off the glass. The reverse layup is good. 84-73. Hudson with 15. Well, that 25-10 deficit to start the game really haunt Lewis and Clark in the final minutes of this game. Hudson picks up the foul. That's his second. And we step away with 2:58 to go in the second half. Lewis and Clark trails. The Pacific has the ball when we come back. 2:58 to go. 80. Brown from the free throw line has not taken an attempt today. Second free throw, good. He split him, 85-73. 3 minutes to go in the final half. Floyd with Owens, Panakachi, Vickers, and Hudson for the Pios. Still zone defense for the Boxers. Floyd takes off from the right corner and beat his defender to his left. Quickly up the floor in transition. Evans tried that same coast-to-coast layup, and this time he got it. By far a season high in shooting percentage for the Boxers. Their best coming into tonight was 51%. And through all but 3 minutes of the game. They were at 60. Again, Floyd to the rim. This time missed it. Coach Foreman looking for a foul. Does not get it. Really, Olowo is the only one in serious foul trouble. He's still not back in the game, but we'll check in next dead ball. Collins has 3. Here's a 3 off the top from Brown. That's good, 90-75. And Pacific uses a timeout, presumably to get Olowo into the game. They have one Scipia, and then they'll host Elmhurst before these two teams, travel mates within the conference. They both go to Whitman and Whitworth at the end of them, or I should say the early part of January. Panacaci on a 3, missed it for Lewis and Clark. Pacific has the ball. Minute 48 to go in the second half. Pacific leads 90-75. A bucket gives them their largest lead of the game. Basically been a Pacific lead of no fewer than 8. As a foul is called well away from the basketball. Floyd and Olowo go back at it again, and this time, oh no, they get Kyle Owens. I don't know where he was, but he gets his second foul. 6th team foul on the Pioneers. And Owens gets called for a foul again. That's a bonus. That triggers the bonus. Free throws coming up for whomever he fouled. It looked like he got into Holly. Looked like Owens was just trying to fight through the screen. It's going to be his argument. Minute 37 remaining. Santos comes back and Olowo taken immediately back out. So a short return stint for Olowo. Holly makes the first of the 1-and-1. Women won earlier, 75-53 over Pacific. And it's just been a tale of 2 directions for the basketball programs for the Boxers. 7-0 men's team and an 0-6 women's team coming into tonight. So the women fall to 0-7 after that 22-point loss to Lewis and Clark. Panacaci catch and shoot 3 near side off the side of the backboard. And a rebound squeaked out to Floyd. Then Holly stole it away. Up to Merriweather, trying to get it to his teammate. Had the ball taken away from him, so he didn't travel. And now a hand check by Panacaci, and that's his 3rd foul. Pioneers are going to use their final timeouts. That's the 8th team foul on Lewis and Clark. So one more break, we'll come back. He has just 2 points. And he makes the final of the free throws. That was his last attempt, right? It's a 1-and-1. That was the first of his 2. I'm thinking of the 1-and-1 before. He was fouled again. So Lind comes back in for Pacific. Pioneers made 5 changes. They have Sean Yamamoto, the sophomore out of Moraga, California. Trevor Jagg out of Enumclaw, Washington, a junior. Adrian Romero, the junior out of Irrigan, Oregon. Shwetank Prakash, the walk-on out of Tualatin. And then Jonathan Smith, the senior transfer from San Diego City College. Holly made them both 94-75. Santos returns. First time for Jacob Tobin, senior in out of California. Here's a long 2 from Yamamoto. Nice jump shot from the left-hand side. And it's also Gerald Handley, the senior, in for the first time. And then down low, Riley Trendle. He's the sophomore. Nice left to right drive for Handley, the senior. He transferred from Diablo Valley College. 45 seconds to go. Long shot. Romero from the left wing, no good. Smith fighting for the rebound, can't bring it in. But the ball thrown out of bounds far side. Off of Tobin. 41 seconds remain, 96-77. The Pioneers were not able to close from really 10 points down. They got into single digits a couple of times, if not 3, but just not really going to happen tonight. It's bounce pass down low, out of the reach of Smith from Prakash. 25 seconds to go. Pacific 8-0, 2-0 in the Northwest Conference, a team that was 12 wins strong last year. Will continue their best start since the early 70s. Lewis and Clark now has fallen 4 straight games, 1-4. Now becomes, or 1-3 now becomes 1-4. The Pioneers lose tonight 96-77. And we'll just go to a quick post-game wrap. We invite you to go to lcpioneers.com. I think you mentioned it, David. Maybe within 7 after that 15-point lead early on by Pacific. Lewis and Clark